Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over. After almost a 2-year hiatus, the Indianapolis 100 tradition returns with the 2020 edition to kick off the brand new decade of Indianapolis 100 tradition. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Elijah Leonard. I will be your commentator for the Indianapolis 100 as these drivers prepare for the big event. And it's definitely going to be, this is going to be one exciting time preparing for these preparing for probably the biggest race that will ever be run in this particular branch of the NR community. But nonetheless, you do see that these drivers are going to be racing the brand new Dallara bodies for the Indy 100. The last two Indy 100s, we've run the older Dallara bodies, and Mary Judicia, and as well as Nathan Orman took home the trophies in those two races. That was back in 2017 and back in 2018 is when these two drivers managed to go to victory lane in by far probably one of the grandest stages of all time in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Indianapolis 100. First car out on the racetrack, we see him. That's the number 25 of Dylan Cunningham. And right on your left side of the screen, you will see an entry list of the drivers that will be taking part in this year's Indy 100. If there is a D right next to the driver's name, that means they're pulling double duty because of the NOS Energy Cup Series race, the Freedom 400, which is on the same day as the Indianapolis 100, but will be later on that day. Cunningham, top of the charts with a 40.453 on this opening day. This is by far an exciting sight to see. So these practices will take place on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday and Friday practices will be at 11 a.m. Eastern. Practice on Saturday will be at 3 Eastern. Will be at 3 p.m. Eastern. Same thing for Thursday and Friday, 11 a.m. And then Saturday at 3 Eastern will be qualifying for the Indianapolis 100. We'll be doing the group qualifying sessions and kind of do it similar to how things were done in Daytona 500 practice, in Daytona 500 qualifying sessions. That is, only difference, all 34 cars will be on the racetrack at the same time. Fastest 12 will move on to the final round to determine who will be the pole sitter for the Indy 100. The only driver that is broken into the 39 second bracket. I'm going to go ahead and get my entry list out, at least with the names that I do have the last time I took a photo. That is Ahmed Mahalovic. I may butcher these names, so I do apologize. Good thing I'm doing these practice sessions to kind of get used to these names. But he's on top of the charts with a 39.3730. The number 4, which is being driven, I can't get over to him. That's Greg Rutz, third quickest, 39.848. Daniel Voiles in the number 26. Let's see if I can go find him. There he is. He's second fastest with a 39.818. Daniel Voiles, one of the drivers that will be pulling double duty. He'll be racing in the Indianapolis 100 and then going back down to Daytona for the Indy 100. And that was the 23. That's Noah Clifton, who got a little wide coming off of the third corner and just smacked the wall. Might have to go down pit road just to see if there's any damage on that car. Most likely there is, but then again, we'll just have to wait and see exactly what will be the case. Let's see if we can find the number 15. That is, if I can actually get my entry list back out, I believe that's Brandon Nelson. Yes, Brandon Nelson. See if we can find him. I'm still trying, because I'm still trying to get used to these names. I think I might have passed him at one point. Just give me a second. I'll get it. I'll get it eventually. I think this is him. Nope, that's not him. There he is. I found him. There. There he is. That's Brandon Nelson in the number 15. Fifth quickest with a 39.789. He's amongst the top 5 here in this opening practice session. Ahmed Mahalovic is still fastest with a 39.730. Then second is the number 19 of Darren Allen with a 39.764. He's also tied with a 27 of Trey Wright, also with a 39.64. Actually, no. The 19 actually broke the tie. So now Trey Wright goes to the top with a 39.673. How about that for the Napa Auto Parts machine of Trey Wright? Moves up into the top position here in this first practice session of Indianapolis 100 preparation. So let's see what. Let's try to scroll on down through the top 10 for you, at least while we still can. The 19 of Darren Allen just jumped up to second with a 39.711. Ahmed Mahalovic is third. Then the 88 of Samet Ozgen in fourth. Then fifth, Brandon Nelson. Sixth, Noah Clifton. Seventh is also Elijah Gordon, driving the number 24. Let's see if we can look for him. I think I might have. There he is, driving the Wix machine. He's seventh on the charts with a 39.801. Then eighth is Daniel Voiles. Ninth is Greg Rutz. And completing your top 10, that is Brock Nelson. So you have both Nelsons taking part here in this event. Brandon Nelson, 5th, and also Brock Nelson in 10th. So both of the Nelsons in the top 10 right now. And there is the number 60 of Brandon Nelson taking part in his very first Indianapolis 100. Some of these drivers are Indianapolis 100 rookies. Zachary Fitzwater, I believe, has taken part in this race before. I can definitely tell you for sure that there are a few drivers off the top of my head that have taken part in this race before. And there is the number 9 and Nathan Stapleton down there on the inside, and on the outside in the blue, that is Madison Tull in the NTT Data machine, and Nathan Stapleton in the PNC Bank machine. It's kind of funny to me of how in his NOS Energy Cup team, he's sponsored by Credit One Bank. Over here, PNC. Pretty ironic, but then again, he is a Chip Ganassi guy, so I will give him the benefit right there. As now Tull dives to the inside to get around Nathan Stapleton. And Elijah Gordon has just jumped up to second with a 39.709. Third is Darren Allen with still with a 39.711. And then you also have the 88 of Samet Ozgen, who's just jumped up to 4th position, to the 4th spot here in this session, closing in on halfway. There's Ryan Gundillo and the number 18 taking part in this Indianapolis 100. One of the drivers that will be pulling off double duty, that are currently confirmed for double duty. There are some NOS Energy Cup drivers that are driving all-star teams that are not yet confirmed to run both races, the Indy 100 and as well as the Freedom 400 over at Daytona. But Ryan Gundillo, going back to him, he is not really doing too hot over in the NOS Energy Cup Series. Currently dead last in points, and would definitely love to get himself a really good turnaround to his season. He announced earlier in the week that he would be stepping away from the stock car program of EGI and would be moving over to the open wheel side of EGI. Mostly open wheel and a little bit of sports cars, but mostly open wheel, where most of his success came from. Elijah Gordon, the team owner, told Ryan Gundillo, they give him a little bit of advice, basically to go back to what worked for him. If there's an area that you're trying to improve on, but just nothing's happening, it's sometimes best to go back to what worked for you. And that's exactly what Ryan Gundillo is going to do, as he will be stepping out of the stock car and going back into an open wheel race car. Right now, Ryan is 23rd with a 39.948. And then you have the drivers that are currently still in the 42nd bracket. Zachary Fitzwater is the fastest amongst that group with a 40.005, almost a 40-second flat lap time. There's Sean Ard in the number 39, and the reason why Sean Ard is driving this 39 instead of the 8, which he initially signed up for, is because when you put custom cars on the track, they have a tendency to float. So I did not want to have any sort of floating cars on the racetrack, so I decided to take Sean Ard out of the 8, put him in a 39, which is piloted by a Pipe of Man. So apologies to Sean Ard for the little inconvenience, but then again, he's still in the Indy 100 nonetheless, and he's got a visor full of the number 66 machine, who is all the way back here, I believe. That is Juan Fernandez, and that is, they both have, both Sean Ard and Dylan Young in the number 14 have gotten by Fernandez. Speaking of Dylan Young, that's him in the number 14, 25th on the charts with a 39.957 at this very moment. And top 10 thus far has kind of changed a little bit. It's taken on a little bit of a different shape. So why don't we go through your top 10 once more. Trey Wright still at the top of the charts with a 39.673. Elijah Gordon right behind him. 6/1000ths of a second behind him in second. And then Darren Allen third. Well, now Madison Tall has jumped up to second. Just 1/1000th of a second behind Trey Wright. So move Tall up to second, Gordon back to third. Then Darren Allen in the fourth position. Fifth, Salmon Oskin. Sixth, Ahmed Mahalovic. Seventh is now the number 33. Driving the number 33, Dylan Abrahyman. Then you also have the number 7 of Josh Torres sitting in 8th. 9th, Ryan Gundillo. And completing your top 10, that is Brandon Nelson. Closing in on 7 minutes remaining. And Madison Tall just jumped up to the top with a 39.606. Darren Allen jumps up to second, and Nathan Stapleton jumps up to third. How about that? This group of cars definitely, as far as time goes. Oh no! Oh my goodness, Stephen Colon in the 22. Whoa! Oh my, that was that was unexpected. Oh, more crashes. I think that's the 23 of Noah Clifton, Trey Wright in there. I believe that's the 5. Oh, Orman. Oh my goodness. Noah Clifton just got into Nathan Orman. Noah Clifton. Oh. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, Noah Clifton trying to get the car turned around. He does. Narrowly avoids more disaster, but man, Nathan Orman, just an innocent bystander, had no idea that Noah Clifton was going to come right down. Oh my. I don't think Nathan Orman is going to take all of what happened on the racetrack too lightly. I can guarantee that's not going to happen at all. But Nathan Orman was just coming down to pit road. And then Noah Clifton came right down. He was also trying to get down to pit road at the same time, but then hit Nathan Orman on the right side of his car. In Noah's defense, he darted down to the inside. He didn't have a whole lot of control of what happened to his car. But also in the defense of Nathan Orman, he didn't notice that Noah Clifton was coming right down, right into the right side of his number 3 machine. So bizarre closing stages of this Indianapolis 100 opening practice session. And you also notice that some of the cars on the wings of the cars are a little bit damaged. That is a little bit of a glitch. So if your car ends up having a little bit of wing damage, like this number 2 for instance, and he had no contact whatsoever, then don't worry about it. It's just a damage glitch. That's the number 2. Speaking of Osman Hamid, he is one of those NOS Energy Cup drivers that will be taking part in this Indianapolis 100. However, though, as of right now, it is uncertain if he will be able to race at Daytona after the Indianapolis 100. But we'll just have to wait and see once he gets down to business in his qualifying race when we get to Daytona at that point. So if he makes the race, then he will be pulling off double duty. If not, he'll be competing in only this Indianapolis 100. So it's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks to see if some of these drivers that are all-star drivers in the NOS Energy Cup Series will be able to make their way into the Daytona race and will be able to pull off double duty. So we'll just have to wait and see what exactly happens. Nathan Orman is 19th on the charts with a 39.878, still within the top 20, but still has also at the same time still has a little bit of damage to his race car, and he finally makes the turn to pit. Finally made the turn to pit road. He's on pit road along with Ryan Gundillo in the number 20 in the 18 machine. The 28 machine is now pulling out. And we have less than 3 minutes to go here in opening practice sessions for the Indianapolis 100. Stapleton. Man, I'll tell you what, NS Racing over in the NOS Energy Cup side, in the early parts of the season, has just been on tear. All 4 NS Racing cars made the Daytona 500, basically dominated that whole race with Travis Crampton and Madison Tull. It was mostly, that race mainly was dominated by part-timers. They led every single lap, including the last one when Josiah Munsell won the Daytona 500. But going back to NS Racing, out of the 9 races that we've ran, out of the 8 races thus far that the NOS Energy Cup Series has ran, 3 of those races saw NS Racing cars sit on the pole. One of those 3 races, they went to victory lane, and that was with this guy, Nathan Stapleton himself. So NS Racing has definitely had a lot of momentum on their side, but as of recent weeks, the problem has been just trying to get the cars right back into their playing field. And since we are going to Michigan later on in just a couple of days, for the some of these NOS Energy Cup drivers that are going to attempt to make their way into the Michigan race, like Brittany White. Brittany White is not going to be competing. It's going to be Kyle Langland. They'll be driving the number 93 for this weekend's qualifying race for the All-Star drivers. But Brittany White, her focus right now, one of her main focuses is on this Indianapolis 100. And let's see where Brittany White is at the very moment. Dead last with a 48.79. So things not looking too good to start off her prep for the Indy 100 is the 98 of Brittany White. But she does have a couple of cars coming up behind her in the form of Trey Wright, as well as Nathan Stapleton and Dylan Young in the number 14. The 21 of Cody Smart has just gone to second on the charts with a 39.635. Let's see if we can find Cody. There he is, right within this group, with Osman Hamid as well as the 88. That is Samet Oskin, as well as Noah Clifton in the 23. I see the 31 and Nick Kennedy in this group. Hamid aborting the pit road. I think he might call it a session. The time is complete, so now they're going to add an additional 40 seconds for drivers to put down one more additional lap before opening practice is completed. But it's still Madison Toll on top of the charts for this opening practice session. Man, oh man, what a way to start off opening practice. The part of the NS Racing team, which is Madison Toll, who is going to attempt to qualify for Michigan later on this weekend, coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern. That is going to be one heck of a time, and we hope you can tune in over at Michigan International Speedway for an Austin Energy Cup qualifying, not just for the all-star drivers to see who will be the top 6 to make it into the main event, but also who will start where in race number 9 of the Austin Energy Cup Series. Times are finalized, and Madison Toll sits on top in the opening day for Indianapolis 100 preparation, and that is it for the preparations for the Indianapolis
Drivers
100.
To your cars.
Want to thank you guys so much for watching opening practice for Indy 100 prep. If you guys like this, be sure to go ahead and give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing yet, recommend you do so in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And here are your results for the opening practice for the Indianapolis 100 and where everyone stands on their time, as far as times go. Thank you guys a lot for watching. Have a good day, everybody. And coming up later today will be the NASCAR Pit Stop Show at 5:30 Eastern Time, so be sure to tune into that as well. Right back here on the Leonard Station. It's going to be an interesting show. Hopefully you guys can tune in. But until then, have a good rest of your day. And as far as Indianapolis 100 practice goes, we'll see you right back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. See you guys later.